Hello everyone, my name is Emily Rath. I am a romance and fantasy author. More particularly right now, I am doing a hockey romance series, an NHL-inspired hockey romance series called the Jacksonville Rays Hockey Romance Series. Um, I am not oblivious to what has happened over the weekend, right? The discourse that has happened over the weekend. Obviously, I am not. I feel like in certain respects, I am weirdly situated near the epicenter, right? As I have watched quite literally every moment of this unfold over the last 3-4 months, right? This really started in April, right? End of April, right before the playoffs began. I have been here before and I have been here for every moment since. And I have been asked on every app and in emails to weigh in on this situation. And I'm going to now. People are saying that this is BookTok against the Kraken, right? That's one version of this story that's floating around. False on both counts. From my perspective, false on both counts. This is not about BookTok at all. Like, quite literally at all. BookTok is a hashtag that has been used over 1 billion times on this app. It's just a hashtag that people who like books use to signal they're part of a broader BookTok community. Military fiction people can hashtag BookTok. Rare book collectors, YA fantasy, and yes, romance readers. BookTok, to say that this is BookTok versus the Kraken is ludicrous. I also think this has practically nothing to do with hockey romance talk, right? If we're wanting to funnel in, if we're wanting to narrow down to the genre of romance that we have seen this boom globally, right? It's not just with the NHL, it's with the AIHL, the ECHL, right? All of these different teams, major to minor league, international, US, what have you, Canada, North America. It is not about hockey romance readers finding a love for the sport and going to these games and enjoying it. It's not, because 99% of them are just there to have fun. I believe at its heart, what this crisis, right, issue boils down to is the same kind of thing we have seen over and over and over again in fandoms. And it comes down to this process of abstraction. It makes me think of a great interview that I saw once with Daniel Radcliffe, right? So the actor that plays Harry Potter. It's one of these late night interviews, but he's talking about seeing that process of abstraction in real time where you're not a person anymore. You're not a person, or people don't treat you with the same kind of decorum that they would other people because you're famous, because you have this weird abstraction process that has happened to you. So in his case, he was talking about having very negative fan encounters. He would have negative encounters where fans would literally come up to him wanting him to sign things and be like, "You suck. You're a terrible actor. I hate all your stuff. Sign this." And he signed something once, was like, "Okay, great. Thanks. Here you go." And his girlfriend was with him and she was like, "What the hell was that?" And he was like, What? And she's like, "That guy was a dick to you." It's this abstraction process that happens, right? And it's not all of the fans, it's like 1% of the fans. So this is not a BookTok issue. This is not a hockey romance talk issue. 99% of the people that are going out to the games, whether they're in Australia or the US or Canada, Sweden, right? All of these amazing connections that I've been able to make with teams all over the world that are showing nothing but appreciation, right? That these BookTokers are going out, these hockey romance lovers are going out, right? They're going to the games and they're behaving. They're behaving and they're minding their own business. They're having fun with each other. They're cordially going to the players after the games, shaking their hands, telling them they did a great job, right? Everyone's having a fun time. But just like in any other kind of fandom, you can have those 1% that ruin it for the rest. They ruin it and they take things too far. They make jokes that don't land. They dial down on jokes that don't land. And here's where I think the issue that comes in that has fed this is the siloing on social media. We cannot forget that the way these algorithms work is that they show you what you want to see. They show you what you want to see. And so these one percenters that are making jokes that don't land, that are being inappropriate, that are making players and their families uncomfortable, that are making the other fans uncomfortable. I cannot tell you how uncomfortable I have been sitting in this since April, right? I have been so uncomfortable. I essentially stopped all engagement with the NHL because I was so uncomfortable with the way they were feeding into it. They were looped into that silo. And so if you're in the silo where all you're seeing is everyone's having a good time, right? Tens of thousands of comments, millions of views on your video. You're looped in the silo thinking we're having fun, we're having fun, we're having fun, we're having fun. Outside of it, the 90% is looking in and saying, what the actual fuck is happening? So since April, I have been in a position where I keep getting sucked into the vortex. I keep getting tagged and mentioned of people trying to pull me into that content, the one percenter content, and being like, see, isn't this fun? Aren't we having fun? Isn't this funny? Aren't we all here for a good time? And each time I've tried to pull out, I spent 48 hours making videos, right? People want to know like what my position is. I literally spent 48 hours. I directly stitched the Kraken and said, you have to stop. You have to stop. Like they were caught in it. And I think they just didn't see it. It's too easy on these social media platforms and with these algorithms to get spiraled into the silo. And then you lose, it's blinders. You lose the ability to visualize anything else, right? I literally made videos. I deleted them because I took so much heat, right? And I'm in the middle of trying to market my books. I deleted them and I just backed away. This is the issue. You have a fandom. They're not quite capable of understanding that process of abstraction that happens. They think they're making jokes. The jokes aren't landing. They think they're being appropriate. Everyone else feels like they're inappropriate, right? The issue comes in with the Kraken social media team. This is not the Kraken. The Kraken is hundreds of people. The Kraken is nutritionists and players, physical therapists, equipment managers. This is the social media team making choices on this app. The siloing was effective. Essentially, this app worked the way it was supposed to. It worked the way it was supposed to. It showed a whole bunch of people. We're talking over 1 million people. It showed them what they wanted to see. It spiraled them tighter and tighter and tighter into their silo. The team's social media account was pulled into it. They saw the positive impact it was having in terms of sales, in terms of followers, merchandising sales, right? You're siloed and you're spiraling, okay? It was avoidable. It should not happen again. I feel like everyone that has been part of this process can learn lessons about proper decorum, proper ways to treat this process of abstraction. You should not treat your employees with the same level of abstraction the fans do. The last thing I want to say is a direct message to Alex Wemberg, his wife Felicia, his family, any player outside of the NHL, whether this is happening in AIHL teams, ECHL teams, any player or their family that has felt the negative effects of this 1% of a fandom behaving inappropriately. If there is anything that my conduct has done on this app that has emboldened these fans, that has encouraged them that this is appropriate behavior, that I condone the behavior that you received, I am sorry. I am 100% apologetic. There's not a bone in my body that doesn't ache with apology that you're having to go through this. You should never have had to go through this. You should never have had to go through this, right? Public figures being what they are, if you draw a line, it should be respected. I am not going to stop writing my hockey romance series, right? My next book comes out at the end of this month. I'm going to continue to write my hockey romances. I'm going to continue to support all my favorite hockey teams, right? ECHL, the Jacksonville Icemen, all of my AIHL friends now over in the Australian Ice Hockey League, NHL teams. I'm planning to bring a group of readers. We're going to drive over to Tampa. We're going to go and see the Tampa Bay Lightning early in the season, right? I'm not going anywhere when it comes to my engagement with these hockey teams, but I will only and always center respect For every single person involved, whether they're selling me the popcorn, they're selling me the ticket, they're playing on the ice, they're behind the scenes and I never even meet them, but they fed the team that morning. Every single person involved in these hockey industries deserves respect. They deserve to be taken seriously in their roles. I'm going to do it. I'd like you to join me.